In this video, we're going to continue our understanding of special quadrilateral angle theorems. For the parallelogram opposite angles theorem, if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite angles are congruent. So let's look at this parallelogram here. If I was looking at this angle, the angle opposite of this one would be this one. So these two angles would be congruent. Similarly, the other two angles would also be congruent. The parallelogram consecutive angles theorem states that if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its consecutive angles are supplementary. So if these are parallel lines, the consecutive angles would be these two. Angles that are supplementary add to 180 degrees. So if you were to take these two angles and add them together, they should equal 180 degrees. The same would be true on the other side. So this is the opposite angle of this one, and then this would be the opposite angle of this one, and then these two angles would also be supplementary. Now this is true for these parallel lines. If you look at these parallel lines, then this angle and this angle would be consecutive, and these two would add to 180. Similarly, these two would add to 180 also when taken into consideration these two parallel lines. Let's take a look at the isosceles trapezoid base angles theorem. If a quadrilateral is an isosceles trapezoid, then each pair of base angles is congruent. So remember, an isosceles trapezoid has two non-congruent sides, and then the base angles would be these two angles at the bottom. So these two angles would be congruent, and then the other two angles up top, these two angles would also be congruent. The trapezoid consecutive angles theorem states that if a quadrilateral is a trapezoid, then its consecutive angles are supplementary. So consecutive angles can only happen if you have parallel lines. So these two lines are the ones that are parallel. So the consecutive angles would be this top one and this bottom one. These will add to 180 degrees. The same would be true for the other side. For the rhombus opposite angles theorem, if a quadrilateral is a rhombus, then the opposite angles are congruent. So it's actually not one pair. It's actually just the opposite angles are congruent. We know this to be true because a rhombus is a parallelogram and the opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. So because a rhombus is a parallelogram, the same would be true. So the opposite angles in this rhombus would be one up top and the angle opposite that on bottom. And then we have opposite angles right here on the left and right here on the right. For the kite opposite angles theorem, if a quadrilateral is a kite, then exactly one pair of opposite angles are congruent. So if you look at the kite to the right, you have an angle up here and an angle down here. These are going to be the only angles that are congruent. These are not necessarily going to be congruent. So let's take a look at some practice problems where we can apply some of these theorems. This first one is a parallelogram, and the parallelogram opposite angle theorem states that the opposite angles are congruent. So if I wanted to solve for x, that means this angle here is congruent to this bottom angle because they are opposite angles. So that means that I can set 4x plus 36 equal to 6x and solve. You can subtract the 4x from each side. That will give you 36 is equal to 2x, and then divide by 2. You get an answer of 18 for x. It might be a little bit hard to find y because the angle opposite y, there's nothing here. So I can't set 8y equal to anything because I don't know what this is. However, we can apply the parallelogram consecutive angles theorem because I do know what this angle is. So these two angles together will add to 180 degrees. So first, I can substitute my answer for x. So 6 times x, or 6 times that 18, that's going to give me the measurement of that angle, which is 108. Now I can add these two together, and set them equal to 180 because of the parallelogram consecutive angles theorem. So 8y plus 108 is equal to 180. Subtract the 108 from each side, you get 8y is equal to 72. Divide by 8 on each side, you get y is equal to 9. Let's take a look at letter B. It appears that we have an isosceles trapezoid. Which theorem will help me solve for x? The isosceles trapezoid base angles theorem states that the base angles of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. But this isn't going to help me because I can't set 3x equal to 5y and solve because I have two different variables. The other theorem we know is the trapezoid consecutive angles theorem. So that means that these two angles are consecutive because of these parallel lines. These two angles add to 180 degrees. So that will allow me to solve for x. So let's add 3x and 105 and set that equal to 180. Subtract the 105 from each side, you'll get 3x is equal to 75 with an answer of 25 for x. So now that I know that 3 times x is going to give me this angle, 3 times 25 is 75. So I know that this angle is 75. Now I can use the isosceles trapezoid base angle theorem and set these two equal to each other to find the value for y. So 5y is equal to 75. Divide by 5 on each side, you get an answer of 15 for y. Now let's take a look at letter C. Here we have a rhombus. All four sides are congruent. So I know that both opposite angles are congruent. But this is a little bit problematic because there's nothing over here. So I know that this is 9x, and I know that this side is going to be 3x plus 12 because it's the same as this one. But if I set these equal to each other, everything's going to zero out. But what I can do is add all of these together and set them equal to the measure of the interior angles of this rhombus. What is the sum of the measure of the interior angles of this rhombus? The sum is 360. If you forgot how to do that, remember you take the number of sides, which is 4, you subtract 2, and you multiply that by 180. So 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 times 180 is 360. So we're going to add all of these together and set it equal to 360. So 9x and 9x, that's going to give me 18x. 3x and 3x is going to give me 6x. And 12 plus 12 is going to give me 24. And we're setting all of that equal to 360. We can combine our like terms of 18x and 6x. That's going to give me 24x. And then we can subtract this 24 from both sides. So 360 minus the 24, that's going to give me 336. When we divide by 24 on each side, we get an answer of 14 for x. Let's take a look at letter D. We have a kite, and we can apply the kite opposite angles theorem to know that this bottom angle is going to be 10x plus 2. So if I set these equal to each other, everything's going to zero out and I won't be able to solve for x. And then the kite opposite angles theorem says that only one pair of opposite angles are congruent. So I don't know if these are congruent. So we have to do the same thing we did over here. We're going to have to find the measure of the interior angles, which is also going to be 360. So I have four sides, similar as I had over in letter C. Subtract 2, that's 180. So these are going to add to 360 also. So I know that the sum of the interior angles add to 360, so let's combine our like terms here. We have a 10x and a 10x. That's going to give me 20x. And then 2 plus 2 is 4. Then we have the 7x minus 4 and the 3x all equal to 360. So let's combine all of our x terms. You could have done that in the previous step, but we didn't. So 20x plus 7x plus 3x, that's going to give me 30x. Then you have a positive 4 and a negative 4. These are going to zero out, so you're just going to be left with 360. When you divide by 30 on each side, you get an answer of 12 for x. Now let's take a look at letter E. We have a parallelogram, and it appears that this angle only is 4x plus 6. So not the whole angle, but just this one up here is going to be 4x plus 6. And then just this part of the angle down here is going to be 18x minus 2. What I do know is that the opposite angle from that 110 is also going to be 110 degrees. So I still don't have enough information to find this angle, but what I do have is a triangle. So if you look here, we now have enough information using the triangle sum theorem to solve for x. So let's add all of it together and set it equal to 180. We have 18x minus 2 of 4x plus 6 and 110. 18x and 4x, that's going to give me 22x. 110 plus 6 minus 2 is going to give me 114, and set that equal to 180. If you subtract 114 from each side, you get 22x is equal to 66. Divide by 22 on each side, you get an answer of 3 for x.